We are live. We got Willie. How do you pronounce your last name, Willie? Monkus?
Monkus, yes, Monkus.
Monkus. We got Willie Monkus on the show with us tonight. Willie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from and what you fish for? All that good stuff. What got you into fishing?
Well, I'm a South Carolina boy, born and raised here in Pickens County. I'm actually living north. Been here about all my life. Um, my primary fish is catfish. Uh, I guess my dad got me on catfish when I was little on 12 Mile River, and I've just grown a love for it and just been there ever since.
You said 12 Mile River. Where's that at?
It runs into Hartwell. It comes out of Pickens into Hartwell.
Okay. So that's I'm taking it Hartwell is the closest lake to you, to
Yep,
Norris?
yeah, it is.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
where's the 12 Mile River? Is that what you're calling the Kiwi River, or is there another river up there?
No, it's 12 Mile River. 12 Mile runs, you've heard of 12 Mile Recreation, 12 Mile Landing down
Oh,
on the other
yeah.
side of Clemson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're coming out of Issaquena, take
Right.
that hard left and go to, okay, I got you. Clemson Beach, down there, or Anderson Beach.
No, Clemson Beach.
Clemson Beach. Hey,
Yeah.
Clemson Beach. What a cool name. Do
Yeah.
do they have a beach there?
Yeah.
Well, they have a small recreation park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got it's like an area people go out there and like float down it and they can get out at certain areas. Do they do that
Yeah,
there?
they do. Yep, they do.
That's a big thing here behind the Wiley Dam on the Catawba River there at the Fort Mill access. You put in and you can float all the way down to Rock Hill. It's like a 4-hour float or something. But there's some good
Right.
fishing in that portion of the river too, though.
Yeah. Well, they broke all the dams on the 12 Mile River system. And so they built a little park down there behind Capiche, so you can go down there and put your kayaks in and go all the way to Mall Bridge, Madden Bridge.
Okay. Is that some good fishing? Good catfishing in there?
Used to be.
Used to be.
Used to be.
Well, now Hartwell is it still is a good fishery for catfish, correct?
Hartwell's tough.
Is it?
I mean, yes, Hartwell's tough.
I
I
know I've
mean,
seen what is his name? Luricky.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's his last name, Wes? Hartness?
Harkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He catches some good fish sometimes down on
Yeah.
Hartwell.
You can catch some good fish on Hartwell, but just don't go out there and expect numbers.
Right.
If you go out there and you get a 30 plus, you're doing good. If you get 3 of them, you're doing excellent.
I want when it comes to Hartwell, is it do you kind of treat catfishing the same way someone would treat striper fishing? Do you try to go like when there's current, or does it matter much to you whether they're pulling water or not?
Pulling water helps.
Yeah.
It does, but you still don't have a lot of current even when they're pulling water.
Now you the closest portion of that lake to you. You said you're in Norris. Is the closest portion of that lake the upper lake?
Up in the Seneca River.
Yeah, I'm in the Seneca River arm, more
Okay.
that way.
So that's the upper portion of the lake then. So I imagine there's probably some more current up there. When they're running water, you could get some.
Oh,
flow.
there is some current, when they're pulling water hard, but it's still, it's not like Tennessee River.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing is, man. Tennessee is it's a gem. Yeah, people
Yes, it
that live
is.
in Tennessee, they don't know
JR,
how
do
good
you
they have
remember
it.
the river? You remember when me and you were in the Kiwi River?
Yes,
If
that
you
was
go
the top
back-
of Hartwell.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, it's the lower end. Well, it's the upper end of Hartwell. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
But if you go back down the Kiwi River about 4 miles from where we were, maybe 5 miles on water,
Yeah.
you'll go back to the left. You'll pass Issaquena Dam and all that. When you start to go back to the left, you'll see a bridge. It's 123 bridge there. If you make that hard left, then you're going back up into 12 Mile. Is that correct, Willie? Did I tell him right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay. I bet it's cool up in there. Brad Shooter said, "I've outfished JR with my eyes closed and a broke rod." It's not saying a whole lot.
This is Pick on JR night.
I bet it's kind of cool up there. Is there a lot of development up in that portion of the river? A lot of houses and stuff, or is it more like wilderness up there?
No, from Jewel Bridge, what we call Jewel Bridge, on back up toward Lay Bridge is there's nothing up there but wilderness. I mean, it's pretty cool, pretty deliverancy look.
Yeah.
Willie, how far can you go up in 12 miles, say in a skiff or a flat bottom boat?
Well, not very far right now. Once you get above Madden Bridge, I was up there a couple weeks ago. She gets pretty skinny.
Mm.
That's
But
probably
they broke all those dams and all that sand and stuff washed down through there. So you'll have deep holes, but I mean, it's nothing consistent.
When it comes to Hartwell, if you had to, let's say you were going to fish a tournament coming up, where would you want to start if you wanted to catch big fish, like something over, say, over 30 pounds? Where would you want to start? Would it be lower lake, mid lake, upper lake, maybe in a creek?
I fish anywhere from, I guess you could say down around Seneca Creek up to 85 Bridge. I know I don't go above 85 Bridge hardly ever.
And the 85 bridge, remind me, is that mid lake or is that upper lake?
Yeah, it's up toward Portman,
Okay.
up near Portman.
How deep is it there?
Oh, it's deep.
It's a bridge. It's a bridge. It's
Yeah.
about 110 feet.
Yeah.
About how many feet?
About 110 at the bridge. At the
Oh my
85
goodness.
bridge.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not fishing on the bottom in that deep of water, are you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, really? You're fishing down 100 plus feet of water?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. I've never, and I don't think I would. I just don't have any confidence in a reservoir or really anywhere fishing for catfish any deeper than, I really don't like to go any deeper than 50 feet.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually I don't fish that deep, but I mean, you get around the right situations or whatever, but I would. Kiwi's like that. You can fish deep in Kiwi.
Yeah.
Well, 90% of Kiwi's a deep lake. Yeah, I've heard Kiwi is one of the hardest lakes to fish in South Carolina.
Kiwi is a hidden gem for catfish.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. I love Kiwi. I would rather. Oh, yeah. We have caught some good fish on Kiwi.
What's going on, Spivey? Come on the show, dude. Come on here and spice things up a little bit. Meet Willie. Yeah, I didn't know that about Kiwi. I just didn't Kiwi have like the state record at one time, striper?
No,
they don't striper. No,
I know they don't stock striper, but there was at one time I think it was a lake in North Carolina that sounds kind of like Kiwi that had the state record, and they don't stock stripers, and somehow the stripers got in over the dam because it's not like Tennessee where they can just go through the locks. Like we don't have locks on our dams, but somehow some stripers were getting in there, and so it was a lake that wasn't stocked, and you know how that works when it's a lake that's not stocked. Nobody targets them, so
right.
They just they become huge until somebody gets lucky and catches them on a green salamander, pumpkin seed salamander, I think is what they called it on. They were bass fishing.
Hey, Willie, tell us a little bit about your light.
Well, I make some underwater lights, dock lights, what I call a camping fish light, which is actually what I like to fish a lot, really. But they're all submersible lights, and they really work.
Are they good for drawing bait in?
Oh yeah.
So what kind of bulbs do you use?
I use HID metal halide bulbs.
Okay.
Oh.
I know they're bright. I've seen some of them light a whole dock up. You light 200 or 300 feet. You just the brightest light I've ever seen.
So are those bulbs protected from what makes them waterproof?
I have to waterproof them.
You have to waterproof them. Okay.
Yeah, with epoxy and some other stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I make anywhere from 250 watt. My most popular is 400 watt, all the way up to 1500 watt.
Now,
Now,
Doug,
the way
12 volt or 110?
110. All of them's 110.
interesting, huh?
So the 400 watt is like 36,000 lumens. And the 1,000 watt is, of course, a 400 watt is just like a standard street light. That's how bright they are. But then the 1,000 watt is 115,000.
Huh?
And I have had certain situations where I've made people 1,500 watt, which is 177,000 lumens.
Holy cow! So are these
They,
things in a housing, like a waterproof housing?
nope,
Like,
no, they
I'm
don't have a
trying to
gate.
picture what it looks like, and I'm having trouble imagining because
It's like a big bulb that is attached to a SOW cord that sinks to the bottom of the lake. It actually floats, up, so it never touches the bottom. It has a weight on the cord or whatever.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And so,
It's just a naked bulb, though. It's just
yeah.
really. So
Yeah.
wouldn't that like be easy to break?
Well, not really. I mean, you can break them, but I mean, as long as
I'm thinking of like a house bulb. I'm sure if you're talking about like a street light bulb, it's
they got a
obviously
little bit
lot thicker.
thicker envelope on them than like a house would do.
Okay.
But yeah, and like I say, you just put them all the way to the bottom of the lake.
Man, you could draw some fish in with those, dude, but you would need a generator though.
I was gonna say, how good would they be for a bait catcher? They got generators on their boat most of the time. Sounds like you could light a half of a lake up with one.
Well, you can get a lot of bait around them, but the only problem about these certain ones, they have a cool off spell. So when you cut them off, like if you're going to throw your net, of course you cut it off.
A lot of people do, yes.
So it's going to take 7 or 8 minutes for the cool off phase to light the bulb back.
Ah. Well, you don't necessarily have to. Does that really work that good, really? I mean, I've done it and I've been with people that do it, but is it really mandatory that you do that? I don't know. Because the bait circling the light, and then when you cut the light off as the net's being thrown, the bait scatters, right?
Yeah, if they see that net, they scatter usually pretty quick.
Right, but turning the light off, does that really prevent them from seeing the net?
I
think that might be in like a lot of us fishermen's head. Like, I don't know how much science is behind that, but
I guess it would depend on how clear the water is too, wouldn't it, Willie?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, the bait's going to be at the very top of the water, so they pretty much going to be aware of what's going on. So most people that I know that use them for bait, they will turn the light off before they throw the net.
Now, if you say they're going to be at the top of the water, that's if the light's at the top of the water, right? Like if you got let's say you got it submerged in 20 feet of water, and
right.
You got it right off the bottom in 20 feet of water, and then won't the bait be down around the light too? Or is it only at the top?
No, most fish like a light that is below them. They don't like staring up at a glare. And a lot of times it spooks the fish. So if you go on my page or whatever, and you go through all those videos, you'll see, fish at the top of the water just schooling around like they're not afraid of anything. But if you have a light that's overhanging on the water, they stare up at that glare. A lot of times that scares them.
Yeah.
You won't see that type of schooling up on top.
Now, like say a dock light, a lot of these older dock lights, they're on top of the water. They're like mounted to someone's dock. It's like a street light type light shining down on the water. And those lights have fish around them.
Yep.
Now, I will say the dock lights that I have fished that were designed like your light and was on the bottom, they did fish better. You did catch more fish, it seemed like, than you did the ones that were mounted to someone's dock shining down on the water.
Right.
I never really thought about the science behind that, but yeah, that's interesting, Willie.
Yeah, my son, he's an avid bass fisherman, but he would actually for bass, not for striper or hybrid or anything else. he would actually like to fish a overhanging light more than he would a submersible light
Yeah.
because he catches a lot more bass on those.
Oh, really?
But on like these green lights, whatever, you'll see bass and stuff come through, and you'll catch a good many bass on them. But they're usually on the outside edge in the dark. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're not right over top of the light like stripers and hybrids are.
Yeah, you're right. And the ones that you do see darting through there are the smaller ones. Like the larger bass, they're always like in the shadows.
Right. Yeah.
Huh. Now, the lights that I've seen, the submersible ones are they're a white light. They look green. I always thought they were green until I pulled one up one night and saw that it was actually a white light. It wasn't a green light. It kind of blew my mind. I always thought it was green because the water was making it look green. So, are your lights green or are they white and they just look green in the water?
I have a clear light, but they do admit a green tint into the water like Hartwell. It'll look green, but I also have a true green, which is a greener. You know, you add metal halide salts to it, the green salt, and it'll make it really, really dark green.
Oh, that is wild, man. You're getting into some light bulb science. I don't know anything about this. Tell us more about these salts.
Well, you can actually go from I have them in blue, I have them in red, and I have them in green. But it's just the type of salt that you add to the bulb when it's manufactured. And luckily, I found a manufacturer who does that, so I'm able to get those bulbs and make the light out of that.
That is
I
wild.
tell you, I was fishing with it was a hydro globe, one of the 2 foot. You remember the 2 foot hydro globes, Willie?
Yep, I had a 4 foot one.
I like them anyway. So I brought and I was under it. I'm wanting to say Lawrence Bridge. It was Lawrence Bridge, or I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so I pulled up there. This is back in the day because I was using the Lowrance depth finder. So I dropped that light out, and it'd been out there for about maybe 20, 30 minutes, and I was like, "Damn, ain't no bait coming around or nothing." And I glanced back at my depth finder, and it was just almost solid. It's like, I was like, shit, what the hell's wrong with my depth finder? So I cut it off. I reset it, changed the settings on it, everything, set it back up the way I had it, and it's just same shit. So I forgot. I think it was Patrick Miller. I called Patrick. I said, listen, man, this Lowrance you told me to buy, this thing's garbage. I said, hell, I'm sitting there. I said, hell, my whole screen looks like it's just distorted. He said, have you got a light out? I said, yeah. He said, pull the fucking light up. So I pulled the light up. Waited a few minutes. I said, it's still there. He said, where are you at? And I said, under a bridge. He said, pull out from under that bridge. It'll clear up. I said, what is it? He said, it's plankton.
Algae, it's plankton, yeah. I never thought about that. I've never put a light out, turned my graph on, and looked and see. Yeah, that's interesting. I bet all that plankton does give you a lot of distortion, kind of like an algae. You're basically creating an algae bloom under your boat with the plankton.
Yep. That's what draws the bait fish in, of course, and that gets the bigger fish, and there you have your cycle.
Yeah.
But plankton actually puts off a lot of oxygen.
Is plankton a microorganism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You see what I got to deal with, Willie?
You have different types of it, though. But yeah, you get plankton. Any kind of light source in the water is going to draw some plankton.
Yes, even the moon. So if you were to go put out a light, you'd want to. The best time to put out a light would be on a new moon, correct? Because you're not competing with the moon. You would draw even more plankton.
The moon is like a natural light, so I don't think it's really going to help you or hurt you. Now, but like we was talking about a little while ago, like a light hanging off a boat or a dock or whatever has a different glare than your natural light. But a light under a fish, it's more like a natural ambient, like from the moon. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, but if you're fishing, it looks like let's say you have a full moon. It looks like if you're looking at the surface of a reservoir, the water surface of a reservoir, that's getting the moonlight from the full moon,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like the plankton would be activated all over the lake because it's the entire lake's getting light from the moon. So the plankton is active all over all over the lake. So fish would tend to be kind of scattered. That's why fishing's tough on a full moon. Now, if you have a new moon, the plankton's not activated all over the lake because there's no light from the moon to activate it. So if you
Right.
have a light out, you're kind of cheating. It's kind of a cheat code because you're concentrating you're getting a concentrated amount of plankton because it's the only light source on the entire lake other than other ambient light sources like other dock lights and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Let me ask y'all a question. Well, if you don't have a light, where's the plankton at then?
It's all over the lake still.
It's all over the place.
What is it? Just something that's floating in the water? Some kind of...
There's a couple different types. There's zooplankton and there's phytoplankton, and they're microscopic organisms. And
that's what I was looking for.
yes, you can. Next time you put a light out, like lean over the boat at that light after it's been out there for about 30, 45 minutes and just start staring at the water. Just stare at the water. And you'll start to see these tiny, they almost look like little bitty snowflakes in the water. It's like, you know how you pour a glass of hot water, how the aeration in the hot water, you could see it. It's similar to that, but they look like tiny little snowflakes. That's the plankton. That's the first stage of the food chain. Once you get the plankton, then you get the predators that feed on, you get the plankton eaters, and then you get the fish that feed on the fish that feed on the plankton, and so on and so forth, all the way up the food chain until you get to the apex predator, like the catfish.
You mean like
Yeah.
a...
And you know, I haven't fished a lot of for catfish around lights. I've had a lot of people send me pictures and videos and stuff of them catching, you know, nice catfish. But
Yeah.
I just haven't done that, and I really don't know if they react to a light positively, like a bass species would.
Here's what I think. I think that catfish don't particularly care for lights. Like when you pull up to a light, or if you put a light out, you might see gar, you might see all the black bass family, you might see perch. You bring in some perch, you'll bring in shad, gizzard shad, mondo gizzards. You're gonna bring in all kinds of fish, but certain fish act differently. Like we were talking about the spotted bass, how they dart through, the smaller bass dart through when the larger bass kind of sit back in the shadows behind a pylon or somewhere. They're not, you can't really see them, you know. And then the hybrids will actually like float on their sides like a flounder through the light sometimes. And I think the catfish sit on the outskirts. I think if there's a sandy point, you know, 20, 30 yards this way, there could be a catfish set up on that. And I think that every once in a while he basically swims the perimeter of that, the outer perimeter of that light, and he feeds on a panfish or whatever every now and again. But he's not up in there, you know, feeding on the bait that the light's bringing.
What about your crappie?
Yeah, the crappie are there definitely.
Yeah, they work good for crappie. As a matter of fact, the guy was just telling me last week he had got one, and he went out, I think on Wiley maybe, and had set it up over some brush and caught 86.
Damn.
Holy cow.
Some really, really nice ones.
Hope he didn't keep all of them.
No, he's pretty
That's
good.
a little over the limit.
But it's hard to stop. You got, you know, your limit, and they're still biting.
Yeah.
You know, it's going back.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to throw back anything when they're biting like that. You know, throw back anything under 12 inches sometimes.
If you biggest, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I've
what's
had those
the
days.
biggest catfish you caught on Hartwell?
On Hartwell, personally, I think it was like 49, 48, 49. Me and my partner was fishing a tournament a couple years ago, and he got 153. So caught a lot in the 40s, but you know, breaking that 50 mark on Hartwell's was kind of tricky.
I tell you, we come back from Santee Cooper one year, and I told my wife then, I said, I'm going to try fishing Hartwell like we do down at Santee, you know, Santee rig. So we were staying at Twin Lakes. So you probably know
Right.
where this is going. I got out there in about 40 foot of water, and I throwed 6 of them out, throwed 6 rods out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going along, trolling motor about half a mile an hour. You know, just I was like, yeah.
They had troller motors back then?
I just know the money business. I'm like, I know this is gonna work. I know this is gonna work. And about the time I thought that, every damn rod on the boat hung up. And
Yeah.
then I said, oh shit! They was fucking trees everywhere. I said, this is not gonna work in this part of Hartwell.
Hartwell's terrible for trees, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But a lot of people, you have certain places that you can drag on Hartwell, but that's what it is. Certain places,
Yeah.
because most of Hartwell is hard. It's hard to drag.
Now, how
Yeah.
do
But
you feel-
that's another reason that I like Hartwell in the wintertime more than I do the other time, is because of all the timber. I love fishing timber in the wintertime.
Do you cut bait down line for the catfish? How do you catfish Hartwell?
Yeah, usually cut bait and yeah, anchored out. That's how I like to fish Hartwell.
What kind of anchor you got?
Hurricane anchors.
Hurricane anchors. Okay.
Is that boy still making them anchors? Is he still in business?
He is.
I know
He
he was running the tournament down there for a while, and I think he had some personal issues. I can't speak about that on the show, but I know he had
Yeah,
some so I didn't know. If he
matter
was
of fact, my fishing partner just finished fixing up a pontoon and went and bought 2 from him. And the first day he went out, he lost one of them.
He still
But,
did one for 50. They were 50 when I was buying mine.
I think they're like 120 now. I think is what he gave for his.
For 1 anchor.
Yep.
Damn, he's doubled in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that one.
No, but he did first trip.
That sucks, man.
It's just, I've lost a couple of them myself.
So last week we had our guest on the show, and we asked what his favorite hook was, and it was a circle hook, and Wes did not like that. So let's see if we can go. Let's see if we go 2 weeks in a row. What's your favorite hook, Willie? Is it a Kale circle? You know, river hook, J hook? What you working with?
Circle hook.
That's 2 in a row, Wes.
Y'all still beginners. You know, it's
Who'd we have on the show last week?
look. If you got to have a circle hook to catch a fish, you're an amateur.
No, who was that we had on the show? I done forgot.
JR, that's like shooting a dumbass deer, a poor old deer with a high-powered rifle.
Wes, who was that we had on the show last week? I can't remember.
Todd Smith.
Todd Smith. Okay, yeah, you're right. He's a beginner. Yeah. He's only a legend that used to fish with Ralph Dallas and has caught more big fish in fresh water than probably anybody both of us know combined.
Dean Cox, you're a striper fisherman. Dean, do you use circle hooks or J hooks or Kale hooks?
Dean says, "What's up, Willie?"
What's up, Dean?
Hell, even Scott Perry uses circle hooks.
All right. Well, while we're waiting on Dean to answer, what? He said circle. Boom.
See, he's an amateur. Dean's an amateur.
Boom.
Well, listen. I'm gonna show y'all something. Granted, other than this, you see that fish right there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a 51-pound striper caught
That's a
on
monster.
the J hook.
That's a monster. Now let me tell you this, Wes.
Hold on a minute. That's a 52-pound striper caught on a J hook. That's my biggest striper. That one was 59 pounds.
That's caught on a circle.
Caught on a circle. Because the law said I had to have a circle hook.
That's right. That's right. But those other fish, Wes, you're fishing pretty heavy current, and if I'm fishing pretty heavy current, I'm not fishing a circle either. I'm going to fish a big river hook, big
Wes,
J hook.
do you know the real purpose of a circle hook?
To keep, well, I suppose
He doesn't understand it. I've tried to explain it to him, Willie. He doesn't want to learn. He does. You can explain it to him. He's not. It's going to go in one ear and out the other.
It's actually to preserve your fish.
Yeah.
Because the circle hook, you know, the way that it's that is created to hook in the jaw or whatever on its way out of the fish's mouth. So you don't have a J hook. A fish will swallow a J hook a whole lot quicker than they would a circle hook.
Yeah.
Because most circle hooks are somewhere around the mouth area when they're hooked.
And if they do swallow a circle hook, it's okay because it'll come right up out of its gullet and get it right in the corner of the mouth.
My biggest thing with a circle hook, any of them, is putting bait on them.
They are tough.
You have to get used to that point being pointed toward the shank.
No, I
So
don't.
you have to come in. You have to come in and hook stuff like this. You can't hook stuff like this.
Yeah, almost horizontal.
Yes.
But I'm just a jerk. I just like to jerk. I'm gonna jerk. I don't give a damn if it's a circle hook.
He is a jerker.
I'm a jerker.
You'd almost think he come from the carp fishing industry.
Yeah.
But anyways, what is your favorite time to fish? What's your favorite time of the year to fish, Willie, and why?
Wintertime.
The winter. Now, when you say winter, a lot of guys, they confuse me because the
I'm
winter.
talking November through January, February.
There you go. Because, well, the winter can be one of the worst times to fish if you're talking, if it's a very cold winter and, by the time the end of January to 1st of February rolls around, it's water temps in the 30s. It's kind of rough.
I've never caught a good fish in the wintertime, even in Tennessee.
But winter, like the first day of winter is December 21st. So December 21st, all the way, I would say, until on most years, all the way through maybe the middle of January. Like that little window right there is probably my favorite time to fish in the winter. Like once New Year's not New Year's, but the end of January rolls around and the 1st of February, I'm ready for springtime. I'm ready for it to warm up. I want to get on that spring bite.
Yeah. Yeah. For me personally, it seems like they're easier for me to find in the wintertime.
Yep. Because
most of the time they're going to be around down in the trees or on Hartwell anyway, down in the trees or whatever, pretty close to the channel, so.
But do you think the fish on Hartwell, I know they do in Tennessee, but I know you're talking about water. You're talking about a totally different bodies of water. But I know the fish in Tennessee, what few fish I've caught, biggest fish I've caught in the wintertime in Tennessee is 31 pounds. And that fish just felt like it was almost like a dish rag and it was a striper. But the water was 39 degrees. Does that water, when the water gets real cold, does that make catfish more lethargic than they already are when they're in warm water?
No,
not blues.
They don't bother them.
Well, you're not going to catch a flathead in 39-degree water.
No,
like 99% of the time. Yeah,
we went to Lake Kerr last year. Mm-hmm. It was in probably mid-December, I would think, and we absolutely had a ball. Got 80 out of there. And they're just something about wintertime fishing. I just like it a whole lot better than summertime fishing.
You said you got an 80 out of there?
Yeah, well, the guy, my partner with me, he got 80 out.
Wow. Okay. So you've caught bigger fish. It's just the biggest fish you've caught on Hartwell was only 40, yeah. Not only, but just what would you say, 40, 49?
Yeah, I got a 76 this April down in Alabama on Gunnersville, which is another lake I love.
I caught an 81-pound catfish years ago, but JR said it at Santee, but JR said it didn't count because it was 30 years ago.
Well, yeah, it was on a Polaroid picture. Wes looked like he was about 18 years old, and
expiration.
I just don't know about it. It's kind of fishy. I don't know.
I don't know. Mike Doster took it down at Harry's Fish Camp. You remember Mike Doster, Willie? Did you ever go to Santee?
I usually go to Santee maybe 2 times a year, and one of them is to fish the Big Brawl tournament.
So you fish some tournaments. You're a tournament guy.
Yeah, we fish mostly local tournaments, but we do go down to Santee to fish that one.
Yeah. What's your favorite trail that you fish around there?
Well, I guess the one that Barry Moore runs.
They call it Cat Chasers.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not Cat Chasers. He changed the name up of it last year. but it starts in October, and I think it runs through March, maybe
Okay.
February. No, it stops right before March, right before the big cat brawl doesn't Santee.
There's nothing like a good trail. We used to have a real good one, Southeastern, and I don't know what happened. They just quit. They just retired. They've been doing it for many years and years. And I filmed a bunch of them.
What's his name still run that trail? The guy that did the cabin on my boat.
No, Brian Snipes.
Yeah, I thought he was over that.
I don't think so. I think the Southeasterns, or Willie, you probably know more about it than I do, but I'm pretty sure they retired. I don't think the Southeastern's doing it anymore. Now you got several coffee cans that kicked up right after Southeastern quit. You got Junior Warskow and some other guys that are running some smaller tournaments, but trying to make up for the loss, because we do have some trails. We got something like North Carolina Cat Association, NC something. We got one that fishes only on Lake Norman. We got the what's that one called? It's probably the biggest one around here now. It's called God, what is the name of it? I'll think of it in a little bit. But they fish Wiley and Watery, kind of the same lakes that the Southeastern fished.
That tournament you're talking about, Willie, down at Santee, is that the one that what's his name used to run that does the hurricane anchors?
Yeah, he was part of that at one time.
Well, it used to be called something else, didn't it? Or was it always Monster Quest?
No, it's Monster Quest. It could have been Monster Quest one time, but now I think it's the Big Cat Brawl.
Big Cat Brawl.
Yeah. But I think Ralph Wiley or somebody like that runs that one now.
I think I filmed that one time. I made a video.
That's a big tournament.
Which one did you do, Jay? Or what was that tournament we went down there and fished with Brian Snipes?
That was like some kind of was it like the Fall Brawl or something?
Thomas Walker and them won it.
Yeah.
Remember we passed them when we were leaving. I said, yeah, they heading to the way and they got something.
I think it was called the Fall Brawl. I don't know. There's so many tournaments in the catfish industry that has the word brawl in it. I don't know.
Boy, that was a badass boat Brian had. I think he sold that boat.
I want to say he fixed up a couple of them and sold them like that. The guy's just he's extremely talented when it comes to like fabricating and building a boat and welding, and he's very, very good at it.
He's a visionary.
So, Wes, what's your boat situation?
I don't have one, and I love it.
Oh, come on. You're going to get one, though, right?
Well, didn't you just post on Facebook that you're back? That you're like...
Dude, that picture's 4 years old.
Oh. I didn't know it was a picture. I thought it was a post. You said we're back or I'm back or something.
You didn't see that 45-pound striper I was holding up? In the post?
No, I think I must have just read the caption and not paid attention to the picture. But, yeah, it's like, Wes. I figured Wes is about to buy him a boat.
I'm getting old. I smoke. I work.
Yeah, you're getting old. You hit it hard, man. You're a legend.
For like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, you hit it hard, dude. You did it all. Like you watch MMA, kind of like Alex Pereira. What he's been doing. He's old, so he's been getting a bunch of fights, and he's the current champion. He done lost the belt, got the belt back, and he's getting it all done in a very short period of time.
It's hard to get
out on it. I mean, I went hard at it for so many years. I mean, I've caught striper from as far north as New York, New Jersey, all the way to the other side.
Yeah, you were catching them around the Statue of Liberty one time, weren't you?
Yeah, in the Hudson River.
Yeah, with Chuck Timon.
Yeah.
You ever catch any stripers, Willie, on Lake Hartwell?
Accidentally.
Accidentally.
Really, the only time that I was striper fishing any at all was with my buddy Tommy Wilson. I'd go with him some, but tragically he died during COVID. So
sorry to hear that.
But I'm not a real good striper fisherman for sure.
Me and
most people aren't. You're probably just as good, if not better, than most of the striper fishermen you and I know. The striper
Nah,
fishermen, they got a much bigger ego than the cat fishermen do.
if I catch one, like I say, it's probably on accident.
Yeah, and,
But
and
what,
you're right, Jr. A lot of striper fishermen, you gotta. I guess at first when I first started, I kind of thought like that, but so who's got the biggest boat? Who's got the most expensive rods? Who's got the most expensive reels? Who's got the best bait tank?
Mm-hmm.
Who's got the biggest motor? Who's got the baddest? I mean, and it's, dude, I could give two fucks right now about going striper fishing. If I was going
Before all these rods came out, an ugly stick, just an ugly stick, or at most one of those gold ugly sticks, the ugly stick tiger rods.
yeah,
That was like more than enough. Great rod, like you could beat on it, last you forever. And then all the rods started coming out, and yeah, you're right, everybody. It's a fashion statement. Which is cool. It just the industry is growing. Unfortunately, majority of our growth is guys ordering a bunch of Chinese rods and selling them for a profit, and I mean that's cool. I guess that's business. That's the way business works. But
now I sell lots to a lot of striper fishermen.
I guarantee it, because your striper fishermen I would say they like the lights better than the cat fishermen do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll be right back.
Definitely.
Okay.
They definitely do.
God, what
Yeah.
are you doing, buddy?
So do you ever go out and do any night fishing? Like what's your
Oh, yeah.
preference?
Shit.
Morning, night, evening, afternoon, does it matter?
Like I say, my favorite time is winter time in the daytime, but I do like going out night fishing some, in the springtime especially.
Yeah.
You can really, really get on some good fish at night in the spring. When the flatheads first start coming out, they
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's an excellent time to get out there. I've used to do a lot of night fishing. As I've gotten older, I'd rather go in the daytime, and yeah, it's a little easier at night. It seems like you catch more fish at night, but
oh yeah.
I don't know if that's due to the boats on the lake and the pressure, or what. But because I'm sure that the fish, once you get down beyond 15 feet, they don't know if it's daylight or dark. I'm sure it's pretty dark down there.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So on the thermocline deal,
Uh-huh.
so what is your thoughts on thermocline and catfishing?
Thermocline and catfishing. I think that if you're looking for catfish, you would treat it like you would striper fishing. If you want, if you're looking to fill a cooler up and you're looking for numbers like some cookie cutters, then you would go out and start marking using your graph, and wherever you start marking fish, if you're fishing on a stratified reservoir, wherever you start marking fish is more than likely where the thermocline is going to be. Like on Lake Murray, it could be 50 to 60 foot deep over 130 feet of water at the towers. On Lake
Right.
Norman, it could be 30 to 50 foot deep over 80 foot of water, any given month of in the summer months, in the dog days of summer. And it just varies lake to lake, and you can usually see it on your graph.
Right. Yeah.
And
So it doesn't really, you don't think it affects you as far as if you got a
Well,
thermocline 20
yeah, I
foot,
mean,
and you're
if I'm
fishing 30 foot.
if I have a thermocline in 30 foot over 80 foot of water, then I don't see how it's going to hurt anything. It's stratified water. Of course, there's going to be a thermocline. There's going to be on the big pool on any reservoir that's in the summertime. There's going to be stratification, and you're going to have a thermocline, and that's where a lot of your fish are going to congregate. That's why you have a lot of fish kills, because you get so many fish in the thermocline because it's the right amount of oxygen and the right temperature, and that's where fish prefer to be. Well, when you get too many fish in that particular water column, then it gets robbed of dissolved oxygen, and then that's where you get your fish kill. So, yeah, it's not that I like fishing a thermocline. It's just that I don't have a choice but to fish a thermocline if I'm going to fish a reservoir in the winter or the summer. Once we get that turnover and it turns over, there is no thermocline. And it's gonna move. It's gonna vary. I'm not really sure what your question was. I know that some people don't have a good understanding of the thermocline, and they think thermocline, they think algae bloom, they think like Dieter Melhorn. Every time he goes out and fishes in the summertime at night, he looks at his graph and it's filled with, like Wes was talking about, and he's like, man, that thermocline's killing me. He thinks it's all the thermocline, and it's not. You got the epilemnion, the hypolemnion, and the thermocline. And you want to fish in the thermocline or above it. You get down there and below it. Now, catfish, that's the thing, is catfish have a much higher thermal tolerance than other fish, and they have they can tolerate lower levels of oxygen as well. So they will be down in that deep water. And you'll notice sometimes when you catch a catfish in the summer, when you got some severe stratification going on, when you get that catfish up in the boat, it'll stink. It'll smell like just rotten decay, because that's everything is decaying down there. That's what's robbing that.
Or they could live in a bucket of shit.
Yeah, that's not true. Listen, they're prehistoric. You know, they're apex predators. They're tougher. You know, a striper, first of all, has to be stocked by the government because they're sterile, because they're made in a lab, and it's a welfare fish. And
no, they're actually made at Santee. And listen,
no, originally they were, not anymore.
A 40-pound striper will drag a 50-pound catfish backwards and drown him.
There's contingencies. Let's take a flathead, for example, that's on a high current situation, lifestyle on the Mississippi River, and let's take a striper that spent the majority of its life in a very low current reservoir, let's say like on Hartwell, and I think a 30-pound flathead from the Mississippi River that was raised up in more current, or let's say a tidal river catfish, it's going to kick a striper's ass that's been swimming around in a dirty reservoir its whole life.
Take one out of Tennessee.
Tennessee is a little different.
Yeah, they're on a full-time exercise program in those rivers.
They're on steroids in Tennessee, man.
Yeah,
it's a cheat code. God, what a wonderful fishery.
What's your best striper? What's your best striper out of Tennessee River, West? I know you fished it some.
52 pounds.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's probably bigger than any freshwater striper I'll ever catch.
I think I was in Gerald, was that my third year?
It wasn't long. I know I'd been striper fishing for 20 damn years, and you go do it for 5 minutes and beat all my PBs. You got the biggest horseshoe I think I've ever seen in a fisherman.
No, I just fish hard. I go to Tennessee three weekends out of the month, every month.
No, you get in circles. You get into circles of people that are like Todd Asher and guys that are phenoms in the fishing industry, that are legends, and you, for some reason, they like you, and they take you under their wing and they tell you all their secrets, and then you go out there and smash and piss guys like me and Scott Perry off.
Listen, I've just got a trade. I'll fix their air conditioners. They don't get hot, and I catch fish.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I do service calls for pins.
That HVAC, boy, I tell you.
Occupation.
I don't know if y'all can read this or not. I'm going to stand and look at my shirt. Let's see. I don't know if you can read it or not, but let's see.
If you'll stand still.
I'm trying to turn around and hit the camera.
Okay, stand still. Look, kneel down a little bit. If you have a hot wife or a hot dog, call Wesley Rose HVAC.
There you go.
I love it.
That's pretty cool, Wes. But you know, you're talking about these legends or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, people. You get. I'm sure y'all do too all the time. Yes. How do I first start to fish, or how do you catch big catfish? But if you look at the catfishermen that I fish around on Hartwell, there are a lot of good fishermen there. But it's always the time that you put on the water.
Yep.
It's the time that you put on the water. You can't beat the experience. Even if you go out 10 times and get skunked, you're going to learn something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you get out there, it's like everything just, all your problems disappear.
Oh
And
yeah.
you can, it's like you just become one with the water. And I swear, it's like we have this sixth sense. Like we love it. And you know, you guys know as well as I do, anything that you love, you're going to be pretty good. Chances are you're going to be pretty good at it if you love
Really,
it.
I'll tell you one thing about JR that I've always liked. I don't care what we're fishing for. JR has been fishing with me for every species of fish I've ever fished for. We went catfishing one or two times, not much. Striper fishing, crappie fishing, saltwater fishing, a lot of saltwater fishing. JR has a good time. I don't give a damn what we're doing, where we're at. Tell you what he did. This is when JR really impressed me about 2 years ago. One of my boat, the water separator, was getting water in it. And I don't know, we didn't know at the time where the water was coming from. JR said, well, let's check the water separator. And I said, well, it's got a new one on it, but the way the motor was acting, it wouldn't come off. He said, you got a tool, you know, like you use to change oil? And I said, no. I said, hell, I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this. You know what JR does? He takes his belt off, uses his belt. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Leverage and got that water separator off.
That's one of the hardest ones I've ever had to take off too, buddy. I barely got it.
But he got it off and got us back running. So that really impressed me. I learned something new that day.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool little trick.
I had a
Never
dad.
complains, never says, let's go do this, let's go do that. If he's along for the ride, he's along for the ride. It works his ass.
I had to hold the flashlight for my dad. So that's why I know how to do stuff like that.
If I'm sort of cornered about something, I'm gonna get on YouTube and I'm gonna try to find out.
Thank God for YouTube. Nowadays, a guy that if you took a 20-year-old dude that just went out and bought him a boat and he just got into fishing, within just a few months, he could know 90% of what we know just in a few months if he just buries himself on YouTube. I mean, there's so much information out there.
There sure are.
But you have to. The thing is, though, like you said, Willie, you at some point you got to. I call it getting the ink out of your face. At some point, you got to put the YouTube down, get out there, put your butt in the seat of the boat, and put the time on the water.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter, you know, how much you study, how much you learn by doing deep dives, looking at forums, and watching YouTube. It doesn't matter how much of that you do. You got to put your time on the water. Period.
exactly. And you know, YouTube, you can watch it. You can get a lot of good information off YouTube about fishing. Not everybody water fishes alike. Something that may be good somewhere is not going to work on Hartwell. So I mean, you're going to have to. But you know, like when I go to Tennessee River or whatever, if I'm going to Chickamauga or all the way down to Gunnersville, Nickajack, anywhere, I'll get on there and see, you know, what some guys are doing. And try to find out, you know, try to get a tip or two.
It'd be nice if we had skipjack down here. That's another thing that the Tennessee guys have. But they don't even have to like me. If I wanted, like, I could go catch crappie and bluegill. I could go, you know, catch some small shad, threadfin, and no problem. I mean, I catch them pretty regularly. But if I wanted some mondo gizzards, you know, some prime catfish bait, like if I was going trophy fishing, tournament fishing, and I want to go catch my own bait, and I went to instead of driving down to, I'm not going to name any names, or certain areas, certain tail races, you can go catch bait pretty easily. But instead of doing that, if I wanted to go to the lake that I was fishing to catch mondo gizzard shad, I would have to throw the net for hours. I'd be soaking wet. I'd have to have my grundens on. I'd be dirty. My boat would be absolutely filthy. There's no point in washing a boat if you're catching bait regularly, because it gets filthy immediately. It's so hard to catch bait.
Mm-hmm. But it is fun to catch skipjack.
Skipjack, all you got to do is throw a crappie jig on there.
Yeah.
You throw a little loop knot, and you got 2 crappie jigs, and you're throwing it out there, and you're catching bait on rod and reel.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
I wish we could go catch mondo gizzards on rod and reel. But they're just so spoiled in Tennessee, and to hear those content creators like Catfish Dave and Kayak Cat, all those guys, they all complain about Tennessee all the time. They all complaining. They always complaining about bait. They're always complaining about the skipjack aren't cooperating, and I'm like, shut up, dude. That's why us Carolina boys go up to Tennessee and we're so successful is because it's the easy button for us.
No,
It is.
If you can catch fish down here, you can damn sure catch them in Tennessee.
I can tell you this. I go to Gunnersville maybe once or twice a year, and I have caught more fish over 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds there than I have my whole life in Hartman.
But skip
That's
jacks are
insane.
not easy to catch in Tennessee as you think they are. Listen,
What's
I've been below the dam up there at Carthage and see them busted, pop in the water, throwing, they wouldn't hit nothing. Change jig colors 4 or 5 times before you actually find something that they decide they want to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you work for skipjack. It ain't just easy button every time you throw a crappy jig out there, by no means.
Well, I haven't done it a lot, but I've went up there and caught skipjack on rod and reel, a bunch of them, half a dozen times, and it's been pretty freaking easy, dude. It's
Every
pretty
time
easy.
that I've ever been there, either if it's Gunnersville Dam or Wheeler Dam or wherever, I've always caught skipjack.
Always, even if it's not but a couple. Now I have been up there, and they're not up there, but that you'll cast 20 times and catch 2 or 3 skipjack. But I have been up there, and they're up there. If they're up there, you can catch as many as you want until you're tired of catching them.
And white bass is plentiful also.
Yes, they
Or
are.
white bass.
And
And
white
that's
bass
good.
make pretty good bait.
Yes, it is. Very good bait.
You would think that it would be like the same as white perch, but no, it's better than white perch.
I was having a discussion today with somebody about the difference between like trout, perch, or whatever.
Mhm.
It's perch or even like just chicken. I think that it is more of the oil that comes off of these, and instead of the smell that attracts these fish, the bigger fish. You
I think
understand
it's
what I'm
both.
saying?
Yeah, I think it's both. Like if you take a perch, you cut a perch in half, butterfly it, throw it out there, let it soak, bring it back in 30 minutes later. Like the smell's almost gone. Like, and the reason all the blood's gone. It's white. It's completely cooked.
I've
You
heard
take a skipjack or a gizzard shad, you bring it in, and it's still got that smell. It's like the oils. I get. We say the oils. I don't know if it's the type of blood. I don't know what it is, but yeah, they
do
still
lead
have
a-
scent.
They do lead a lot.
the catfish is the only fish I know of that would bite something with WD-40 on it. I've seen it done.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. I've done it. catching either size catfish at Santee, yes, sir.
Well, I mean, it's like the chicken. There's a certain amino acid in the chicken that, I mean, if you got to admit it resembles a mussel like very much, like the
Or people put it
consistency and the
overnight
smell.
Kool-Aid.
So you're
I-
basically slinging if you took a chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast the size of your fist, you're basically fishing with a mussel the size of your fist, which that's pretty good bait. That's when chicken does so good. You're fishing with mussels basically.
Yeah. I've heard that it resembles a mussel. And that's
That's
probably like.
closest thing I could find. Yeah.
But
think
sometimes, we have been up on the Tennessee River and fish not biting real good, and that's what we would hunt mussel beds on the bank, and that's where we would start to catch your fish.
Yeah.
You can always count on a good mussel bed.
Yep. Especially for numbers, because
Right.
that's where they spawn. They'll spawn around a mussel bed because they're young. They will be residential catfish until they reach a certain age. They'll stay around that mussel bed. That's why when you go fish a mussel bed, you're normally not catching nothing but big ones because their diet changes as they get older. So they up until they reach a certain maturity, they're going to stay around those mussel beds, and they're all going to be around the same size.
The craziest thing to me about a mussel bed and catfish is how they eat these mussels. Their amino acids in their stomach dissolve what's inside the mussel and they shit the shell out.
We do the same thing with corn.
Well, no, when you eat corn, it just goes through your system. You shit the whole thing back out.
No, the inside, that's just the husk. The inside of the meat of the corn is gone.
Shit, I done
Pick one out of your turd
the whole turtle
next time. And
Damn. But yeah, but I thought their acids dissolved the inside of the shell of the mussel, and then they shit the mussel out.
I'm not sure.
Have you ever watched Lake Hartwell divers, Wes?
No, sir.
So they dive under these docks and you'll see like round circles filled with mussel shells.
Yeah.
And to me, you know, catfish is probably under there, and that's what they, you know, where they got rid of their mussel shells. But on film, I think I seen it yesterday. It was actually turtles under there spitting up mussel shells.
Wow.
Really? Turtles.
Yeah, turtles.
So catfish aren't the only.
Yeah,
Huh.
that kind of surprised me.
That's wild.
Well, fellas, listen, I've got to get off. I've been up since 7 o'clock this morning. I got to take a shower.
Oh my! You knew I was getting ready to say, so you tried to beat me to it.
No, I'm just tired, man. I'm tired.
All right, guys. Hey, it's been a good show. Thanks for coming on, Willie. Willie's been an awesome guest, and I hope that he comes back on here with us again. Willie's pretty damn cool. I think you guys would agree.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Willie is the coolest South Carolina fan you will ever meet.
All right. See you, Willie. Good night, Wes. See you next week, guys.
See y'all.